Is there bullying in the healthcare industry? Is there bullying in the nursing industry? Now, for those of you who probably don't know this, because I always share it with my students and also here on my YouTube channel, I'm actually writing, I've been researching, and I'm going to be doing a book soon. It's going to be out soon, The Bullying Culture in Nursing. And I've interviewed a lot of people. I have been doing this for 20 plus years. So yes, there is such a thing as bullying in the healthcare industry, and especially in the nursing industry, right? The nursing department. But is there such a thing as bullying? Why do you think there is? Well, first and foremost, one thing I have shared with my students is that medical history, medical care history, right? Medicine and nursing, which comprises, is a big umbrella for nursing, therapy, and what have you. It's all under medicine, right? And if you look at it historically, it's a hierarchical type of industry, meaning there's a type of people at the apex. Does that make sense? So you have the doctors. They are actually at the apex, and everybody else kind of falls under them and spread. So it's like an apex. And back in the day, and even till now, you do find that, especially back in the days, doctors are the untouchables. Okay, a lot of people say they have the God complex, and I have used that before. I've said that to my friends who are doctors and family members who are, and I'm like, doctors play God. They do. However, it's gotten better now where ordinary folks, the patient can actually have a say in your health care. It wasn't that way. And back in the days, which is still very prevalent now, the doctors still lorded over anyone under them. So if you're not MD or you're not DO or you didn't go to medical school, well, you're not a doctor, okay? So, and I think from there comes that bullying, okay? So it's like the doctors, and maybe doctors will not agree with this. For doctors who watch my channel, let me know what your comments are. But that's the truth. That's where it stems from. Are there doctors who still like go around thinking they're God? Yes. A lot of nurses, we're all getting better now because you're trained how to interface or to respond to doctors who treats you like you're nothing better than a servant or dirt. It's getting better, and doctors also learning to know that, okay, they're not an island, okay? They're not the be all and end all. You give orders or you prescribe, and people have to carry it out. People have to understand what you're saying so you don't get in trouble. So again, it's getting better. But the reason why the bullying starts from the top, and it just slowly kind of trickle, it's like a butterfly effect. It goes down, downwards, okay? Eventually it lands on nurses. Nurses are next to doctors. And in the nursing cadre, you also have different strata, okay? And it just trickles down. So if the question has been asked if there is bullying in nurses, of course there's bullying in nursing. A lot of people know nurses if they're young. Yes. It is sad because I have also once upon a time been a new nurse, and nurses were mean. Some nurses were very mean, and there's always this like, oh, you'll learn. And I have found in my research that people who bully are usually bullied. So bullied nurses in turn become bullying nurses, and they will bully anyone they think is weaker than them or is in a lower station than them. And in the nursing department, which comprises nurses and CNAs, there is a lot of that going on, and a lot of people get burnt out, not only for just the workload because it's really too much, but also the way the interrelationship between the inter and intra relationship between staff in the nursing department. And again, anytime I say nursing, you need to understand I'm throwing the CNAs in there, because you're not in the laundry department, you're not in maintenance, you're not a doctor, you're not with a physical therapist, the occupation and what have you. You're in the nursing department. So that's why I do loop you in with the nurses. So you do find nurses who are really evil, and they will lord it over and bully CNAs and other nurses. Nurses bully nurses, okay? Nurses bully nurses. Oh my God, have I worked with some evil nurses? Yes, I do remember. And this was in Maryland. I'm never going to forget. It was so intimidating that when I'm going to work, it's like going to a war zone, where oh my God. So when, it's so bad. It's so bad. And I don't know why. No, actually I do know why now, but I'm wondering why people fall into that. I do even remember, sometimes it's not even about age. I remember a young girl, but because she's always worked, nurses, where do I start from? So I worked PRN, which was called Flex PRN, meaning flexible. I guess that's where the flex is from. And she was a permanent there. So what people do is that, again, because you're flex, so you don't know the politics of the floor. You really don't. But she's been working there, and a young thing like that. And she was rude to everyone. Initially, I thought it was just me, and I checked her. But, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on with this girl. I don't know what her problem is. But, she should, take several seats away from me. And then I found she was even rude to a woman. And this girl was probably like 22. And I remember one time she was even rude to a lady who was 50. I wasn't 50. That was a long time ago. And the lady was like, no, and the lady burst out crying. It's like, she's always so rude. She's so mean. And only to find out that, some people have problems. There's a very number of reasons why people bully. But we found out she just didn't like her ethnic group, And what's interesting also is that she's black. So black on black crime, I don't know. But the thing is, it's hierarchical, and you find that bullying comes from when people feel helpless, they feel hopeless, they feel frustrated, they cannot do what they want to do. So let me put this in perspective. And I think it starts way in nursing school, where you go in, there's just too many things coming at you. You're trying to be everything. I mean, they make the curriculum and the syllabus so like, I don't know, it's like being at war. Seriously, it's like Third World War, and you have to do so many things. So you get really frustrated, and you have instructors that are also not helping out. So you're already feeling you're bullied. The bullying starts from the nursing school, and then you get into the workforce, and then you find older nurses that have been there. They went through the same thing you did, and they think that, well, you know what, they're going to met out the same thing to you because, well, it's a rite of passage. No, it doesn't have to be. I have made it a point of duty, because maybe that's how God has wired me. I don't want people to go through what I went through. So I've had new nurses come. Even when I was an LPN, I had RNs come on, and I was like, isn't she an RN? How come she doesn't know this? I take my time to put people through their jobs. I do. I go out of my way. Now, does everyone appreciate it? No. But then you do it because it makes you feel good, and you want to put good out there. Good will find you. So it's about me. I'm going to put good out there. Good is going to find me. Good is going to find me and mine. So, there is bullying. There is bullying. People get frustrated, when you're overworked, you're underpaid, and you're understaffed, and always short-staffed. Yes, bullying seeps in there because why? you're helpless. You feel helpless. Things are not going the way you want them to go. So you find some kind of coping mechanism. And some people, they err on the side of bullying. Another thing is there is such a big divide between management and staff on the floor, the clinical staff. And you find they knock heads because management is all about, let's get these beds filled, let's get the money in. And the clinical part of it is like, well, we need to give better care. Again, do you see how that is? The nurses and the aides on the floor are feeling frustrated and they start to bully. And those in management are the people at the top, the business people are holding a whip over their head and they start to bully the clinical staff. So do you see how that works? And at the end, it's interesting because people don't think doctors get bullied. Of course they get bullied. They get bullied by the money people. How many hospitals do you think are owned by doctors? None. Did I say none? I cannot say none. I just said that to be funny. No, but most hospitals are owned by business people, okay? And so the business people crack the whip. Pow! And they tell the doctors what to do. So as much as doctors want to play God, they're not always boss because someone's paying them salary. Someone's paying them money. So they in turn, they're going to lord it over who? Nurses. And the nurses in turn will do what? Lord it over the ones, that's in line, and they do that to the CNAs and on and on. But in that whole, in the medical field, in the not hospital, in healthcare industry, there's bullying. Yeah, loads of it. It's because we cannot practice what we swore an oath to practice, to put the patient first, to care for patients, to treat people nice and, with justice and equality and and all that good stuff. It's tough. It's tough when you feel overwhelmed. When you feel overwhelmed, people lash out. So people start to lash out. So it's from being helpless. People are just helpless. You're trying to communicate something to the doctor, is not listening. The doctor is trying to communicate to the CEO and the administrator and the MDs, and they're not listening. The CNA is trying to communicate to them. It's a total mess, and then you have management and you have the clinical staff and and then the bullying just starts. It's like, hey, I went through this. You're going to go through it too. This is healthcare. We can make it better. So moving forward, why don't you be the change you want to see? I throw that challenge at you. Wherever you go, try and be that change you want to see. I have started doing it. I do it all the time. Where I work, where I teach. First of all, I impact my CNAs to be very proud of what they do and be good. Good will find you. Hope you got. And if you did, give me a thumbs up. Click subscribe and notification bell. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.